together, it would be brilliant. And it's not, because orange makes milk curdle.
I get the impression that you have actually done that. Probably again a wet Wednesday afternoon. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, here's some tequila and a bit of lemon tea. Why not? Yeah. Good luck. Okay. Rufus, are you in agreement with the enemy? I mean, you know, the idea of sort of a whiff of prog rock coupled with some nice harmonies, I'm sure that would be right up your street.
It did, I liked it. If anything can prove that my mild obsession with the music of Trevor Rabin and Bill Bruford was, you know, had sent ripples across the music industry that are still being felt today, it's the music of Palladium.
Right.
I really want to see the video, and I really want it to be a properly dated video from the kind of early 90s, and I'd like to see them live, even though I think they're a little bit too tight, if anything. But no, I liked it very much.
One of your one of your braces there, Rufus, has fallen down.
Yeah.
Rufus is, of course, wearing braces. You just slip that back on your shoulder like a lady whose bra has slipped.
Yeah.
If you would. Good. All right, thank you very much. Harry, where do you stand with Palladium? I noticed you scrounging around earlier in the bargain bin here. This is where all the other big-name DJs, George Lamb and the like, they throw away all the stuff they don't want.
Yeah.
And I noticed you dug out Palladium.
Well, I plucked Palladium out because as I was watching John Craven's Country File this morning, I was reading a well-known broadsheet newspaper, and they had a feature on Palladium, and apparently they're all session musicians. They used to play in Amy Winehouse's band, and now they're taking the sort of stadium rock ethos out to the back rooms of pubs up and down the country. It was quite enjoyable, but I fear, Steve, they're going to be an ironist's dream, and they won't ever be taken seriously, and they're perhaps doomed to being laughed at.
I probably agree with you, but I'm going to sit on the fence lest I embarrass myself later down the line. Here's a forthcoming single from The Whip, released on the 12th of November on the Southern Fried label. That's Sister Siam from The Whip. It's the Steve Show BBC6 Music, and we're just getting our opinions here of this new music. And Sammy, that sounds exactly the sort of thing that you would be rocking to at a trendy disco.
I do actually enjoy that. I don't know if I properly love it. I would like to hear more or see them live, but I did enjoy it. And I like the fact that the ooey-oo bit at the end has enough syllables to actually sing the title of the song in. Sister Siam, which I have as many syllables as the actual TV.
The great Ronnie Hazelhurst,
Exactly.
of course, yeah. The last of the summer wine. The A-Team. Ronnie didn't write that one, but it still works. Harry, you probably hated that.
Well, it's funny because I saw my dad yesterday. He came up for the football, and he was telling me how he'd been rooting around in the loft, and he'd found my old keyboard that I had when I was about 11, which was bought in a vain attempt to eke something creative out of me. It didn't work, but when I was trying to teach myself the EastEnders theme tune, that was the sort of song I imagined I'd be writing in 15 years time. It didn't actually happen, but I enjoyed the squelchy noises, and it proves that you can dress up an average song with some interesting squelchy noises, and I could quite like it.
EastEnders works perfectly. And Rufus?
Similarly, my parents gave me a keyboard for Christmas a few years ago, and within a few hours I'd realised that if you press the demo button, something quite impressive would come out, and if you pretended to play it convincingly
I remember,
enough,
I had Wake Me Up Before You Go on mine.
Right, fantastic. And if you looked your elderly relatives in the eye convincingly enough, wiped a bit of sweat from your brow and carried on playing, they'd think, have you just done that now, since you got it? When did you open that? 3 o'clock. It's 7, you've written that. That sounded like that to me.
Right. Oh, dream.
Yeah. The Bon Tempi demo on an organ.
Someone in my class, in music class at school, actually did that. We had a month to write our own song, and someone nicked a Phil Collins song. We came up with something dreadful, but a bunch of guys did absolutely nothing. Andy Dark, if you're out there, it's you. And it was I Love You Just the Way You Are, and they stood up and mimed to it.
That's genius.
And the teacher who was quite an easygoing character, went absolutely ballistic.
Yeah.
And just kept them behind for about 6 days. Didn't let them out of the room, I don't think.
Wow, they're the Milli Vanilli of our school.
Absolutely.
That's remarkable.
It was amazing.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, there's a little lesson to anyone out there who's got a difficult music exam coming up this week and you've done no prep. Get yourself a 1987 Bon Tempi keyboard and you can get away with it. I think there was also one that had a vague oriental ding 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 ding. I remember I had one that just did that endlessly. As I've just said in the past, I'm pretty certain that is the Chinese national anthem. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay, so we have some live music coming up, plus one of Rufus's choice after this little thingy, and then some stuff from Faith No More. What a preposterous record that is. Faith No More, an epic, a weird mishmash of rock and hip-hop, and now a little bit of Liberace at the end. It's an absolute joy. It's the Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Stephen Merchant, and we will be getting to some live music from Johnny Flynn very soon, plus a choice from Rufus here. But we just needed a little bit, take care of a bit of business before that. We were trying to find out which R&B star has put together an R&B tune that contains the lyrics, how about a little slap and tickle? Have we had any news so far on that?
We've had a few hot leads, but it's not really led to anything.
Is it that underground?
I think it is, yeah. I mean, I was all ready to give out huge Steve Show props to Meredith for suggesting Rough Squad, spelt RUFFSQWAD.
Yeah.
But it looks like that is some sort of night they put on. They're part of Lethal Bizzle's crew or something like that. But no, it appears it's not them. Someone else suggested an old Squeeze song, Slap and Tickle,
No,
but
that's
it's
not
not that. Someone said R. Kelly, Bump and Grind, but I've been through the lyrics.
Please,
It ain't that.
I'm very au fait with Bump and Grind to the point that it used to be one of my favourite tunes, and I believe it starts a cappella with lyrics along the lines of, can I remember them? My mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah.
We've had some
I
great
don't
segments
want
today.
I don't want to hurt nobody, but there's something that I must confess. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind, etc.
Yeah.
And beautiful lyrics, because his mind's telling him no. He's just, his mind's saying do not get involved.
It's the wrong thing to do.
But his body, he's got to listen to his body, Harry.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
telling
yeah.
him, yeah.
We've all
You
got
know,
animal
there.
instincts.
And he does not see anything wrong with a little bit of bump and grind. But that's not helped us with Slap and Tickle. But if you can help us out, 64046 stephen.6music at bbc.co.uk. Could be a big tune for next week. How about a little Slap and Tickle? So we're looking for that. Also, we were talking about The Sopranos earlier. Did that annoy and enrage listeners that you were so fearful of a fictional character?
As usual, Steve, with my strongly held beliefs, it seemed to cause no ripple at all amongst the
Of course.
listeners. No one seemed to care either about my trainer rant, which I thought might, get a few hairs on the back of necks, or no, not that, the other. And the Sopranos rant had no effect at all. But we did have an excellent email from Simon, who's emailed in about Sopranos withdrawal. He tells us a sad tale. He says, Steve, you're not alone. To get over the massive sense of loss, I threw an end-of-series Sopranos party, the idea being that everyone had to dress as a character from the series and bring appropriate Sicilian food. But none of my mates showed up. Either they'd missed the last series or they wanted to watch it alone, and the food I brought from an Italian deli days before had all gone off. So I found myself alone in my front room, screaming at the screen when it all went black, dressed as Paulie Walnuts, with white hair bits and everything, with a plate of fizzy meatballs.
Wow, that's heartbreaking. I can't believe that his family let him down in that way.
There was someone in it called Paulie Walnuts.
Yes,
I might watch it.
Okay, so we need to move on. You have a choice, Rufus. So what have you chosen?
I do. I went to see Rufus Wainwright with our producer Jude earlier in the week at the Hammersmith Apollo. He was absolutely sensational. I've seen him 3 or 4 times before, not merely because he nearly exactly shares my name, but because he's got that thing that we talked about Prince having, almost. He's got that thing that he can scream and holler and fall to his knees. Not quite fall to his knees, but the audience will love it. There was one breathtaking moment in the middle of the concert on Tuesday when he sang a John McCormack folk song called Makushla, unmiked. He said, I'm going to sing this like John McCormack sings it, I'm going to sing it unmiked. He stepped away from his microphone and he sang to a packed Hammersmith Apollo, capacity 5,039, I looked it up, and he sang the song unmiked. Can you imagine? I mean,
What,
absolutely.
can I imagine singing something a cappella?
Yeah.
My mind's telling me no, but my body. That's a cappella for you.
But my favourite 2 songs that he plays live are 14th Street and the song that I've chosen to play this week, which is from Want One, and it's Beautiful Child.
Rufus's choice on the Steve Show, BBC Six Music, and it was, of course, Rufus Wainwright. You've only got about 8 records in your collection, haven't you? Well, we've had a lot of Rufus choices from you in the past.
We've only had 2. That is only the second one I've ever played. I've been tempted to play more.
Rufus, when they're as good as that, mate, keep bringing them in, all right? I've won you back round.
Okay.
Listen, regular listeners, a new tune called The Box, which we all enjoy very much, if you recall, and then we played it again last week because we liked it so much. And this week we are very, very pleased to have the singer-songwriter who's written the tune and is also going to play it for us, among other things. It's Johnny Flynn. Please welcome Johnny. A round of applause for the Steve Right Start. So pleased that you've come in. Thank you very much indeed for doing it.
Thanks for having
Have you travelled far?
From Nottingham.
From Nottingham?
Yeah, we're currently touring with Iron and Wine, and we've got our last date tonight in Reading.
Wow, that must be a hell of a night, because Iron and Wine are brilliant.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
And how have you got to know Iron and Wine?
Well, it's sort of roundabout kind of music industry way, but it's nice. I think it's kind of a good match for us, basically. Nice audiences who are kind of either sitting down or just, listening very hard.
That's good, yeah. Not lots of people endlessly talking amongst themselves and so on.
Yeah, a bit of swaying, but
nothing wrong with a bit of swaying.
Not too much pogo. It's our crowd, basically.
Now, forgive me, because I don't know much about Johnny Flynn. Is there a reason for that? Have you been on the scene long? If I'd been hanging around in music circles longer and having more cheese and wine evenings with A&R men, have you been someone who's been bubbling under for a while?
I've been sort of, I don't know, I guess I consider like what I do and what I do with the band as kind of pretty lo-fi, and like I've never sort of thought big about it.
Right, you're just doing your thing, yeah.
It's just, it's just kind of happened, and recently, we've got this deal, and we're having our record made by, an amazing producer in Seattle and all that kind of stuff. But I guess at heart, it's still a kind of very lo-fi thing, basically.
And the idea of sort of playing live on the radio today, does that fill you with dread, or is it something you look forward to?
It's quite exciting, really. I mean, it's nice to break up the tour like this.
Yeah.
I just had to whiz back into London and, wait for my soul to catch me up, basically.
That's a beautiful poetic. See, if I had poetic phrases like that, I would be.
I'm writing it down, Steve.
Please write that down.
Yeah.
I am sorry. I can only apologise that we've not got more listeners. If only you were on Radio 2, you could shift some bloody units. But as it is, you're just well, brilliant. I mean, yeah, this is really much for die-hard Six Music fans. I'm going to ask these guys to probe you after we've heard a tune from you. If that's all right, what are you going to play for us first?
This is The Box.
The Box, brilliant. Well, we love it, so we're looking forward to hearing it live. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, Johnny. Thank you so much. We really enjoyed that. Can I just ask you, someone mentioned, I think it was Jude here, that you are an actor as well, is this right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So is that sort of your day job and this is a wonderful hobby, or is it the other way around?
It's kind of basically recently shifted from being that to being more like music most of the time.
Yeah. And is this something that you sort of idly did whilst sort of rehearsing and stuff, or that you've sort of moved towards a career?
Yeah, kind of. It was just, it was just for fun, really. I mean, as it should be, I suppose. But, it was good. I just finished a long tour of a play, and it was. I found it really cool, for writing lyrics. Basically, just kind of waiting around a lot. It's always good for lyric writing.
What was the play?
12th Night and the Taming of the Shrew together.
Now that is Billy Shakespeare.
That's the one.
I'm pretty au fait with that. We like a little bit of class and culture on this show. Now Rufus is an actor here, super posh Rufus, and occasionally a musician.
Yeah.
Do you want to pick up the guitar and play something, or?
Do you know what? Probably not this week.
Not this week. Maybe something in future. You could do. What's your party piece? Am I right in saying it's easy?
It is, Steve. Yeah. And I knock out a fairly nice blackbird as well.
Okay, well, we look forward to that in future weeks. Are you slightly jealous and intimidated by Johnny, the fact that he's obviously clearly a talented actor and also a musician?
And a little bit better looking and a little bit younger as well.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Is that really kind of annoying you?
A little bit. I'm wearing a suit, though. You're not wearing a suit, Johnny, are you?
No.
Johnny, did you see Rufus's Fanny Hill?
No, I didn't.
You see, so...
But I do recognise him from somewhere.
That's enough for me.
Probably the dole cue, knowing actors. If I could just ask Johnny at any minute to just recite either some 12th Night or Taming of the Shrew, I'm sure he'd be happy to do that. What can you do for us, Ruf? Could you just throw in some Shakespeare at any point? Because you did the Wilfrid Bramble earlier. So what?
So far on the show, I've misquoted 3 lines of poetry to the wrong poet.
Yes.
You're now putting me on the spot and asking me what else I can do. I have got a computer at my fingertips.
No, I just want to do some Shakespeare off the top of your head.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
Rubbish.
No.
Anyone could have done
Feathers
that.
noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
Okay. You say embarrassing. That's why we don't let him play music. I've asked these guys to come